Welcome, my name's Blades, and let's explore. What we got today? Oh, recap. Yes, we need to find out what we've learnt. Well, for the recap, I've drawn a little picture for you. There you go. We've got a main, which is linked to our main window, which has this timer on it. The main window generates the graphical user interface, and that interface, or the central widget of that interface, a central container, is explore, and using that path we can instruct explore on which test we should do, and that's what we've done. C++, what we learnt about C++, how it looks really. Let's just pop that out of the way. So let's explore. Hey, so in C++ that looks like this. I've changed the colours, as you can tell. I didn't like the colours before. I couldn't see some of them on the replays on YouTube, so I've decided to change them. So we have our main, which goes to our main window, window show, start main window. It's obvious what we're doing. We've got it in English. Wow, we've ignored that Q application quite a lot, but that's our main loop program, and it does all our events and an object chatter, so it talks between the objects. That's how this is what allows us to go through the UI to get to our exploration. So main goes to main window, which is this, and we do need to update this. It's not good. Yeah, exit 0. No, we can't have that anymore. We're going into OpenGL. We can't just collapse out of the program. So instead, we've already talked about the word this, meaning the object that we're in, which is currently unused entity issue. Oh, shush. This, and what we're going to do instead is just close. That will instruct our Q application back in main that the last window has closed, which is this one, which is our main window, which will close all other windows if we have any, which we will in a bit, I think, and it'll be nice. It'll be a tidier way of getting out, and it will also mean that we trigger all of our destructors properly. So, like all the resources from the user interface and from OpenGL will go back to the main system, underlying system, whatever system you run. That helps because it's very annoying if we make something like rather big, rather memory hungry. We come out of it and we haven't released the resources. All of a sudden our computer's missing a big chunk of memory. Yeah, that's not good. No, we don't want that to happen. So we're going to calm our exit down and just close the window instead. I think that's only fair. Now the UI is set up here. It's a pointer, so I did it as a dotted line. Pointers are dangling out there, remember, in some kind of memory out there. It's not in this CPU stuff. So that's happily out there, just residing, and it gets used as when necessary, which is all the time. We have a form, our UI, which shows us our UI. Do I need to do any alterations? Not at this stage, but we will do at the next episode, definitely. If not now, even if not in this episode, we might. Exploration is suffering at the moment. we go through our UI, we come to exploration, and I'm going to go to the header file because we've only got mtest. And when we were starting to do this test, I was a bit worried about something called context. And I've got a good right to be a bit worried about context because OpenGL relies on it. It has to paint or draw into the context that it's given. So yeah, we haven't given it one. The system has. It's given it a default context, but I don't want to chance it. I really don't like chancing these things. It's better if we give it one. So there will be a queue open GL context somewhere. Here we go. We'll make a pointer because we want to hold it in memory out there safely until we want to destroy it. And we'll just call it m_context. So we are going to need one of those. Well, we don't need one. We're going to have one. It's a safety precaution, really. I mean, this class is still a bit large. I think the next episode that we do will show us a more normal class, I hope. Let's see, what else do we need? I want a couple of things. I want a couple of floats. One for the width of our widget or viewport or screen or whatever you want to call it. And I also want the height as well, please. H-E-I-G-H-T. So I'll have those two. Anything else I want? Maybe. I'll put space now so it looks better. I don't need an object, do I? We're not using signals and slots. No, okay. So we've got a context, we've got width and height. We better initialize those. I always initialize here at exploration, so let's go and do that. So at the first item now is context. Up the top. Okay, let's just do that. And it's m_context. It's a pointer, and I'll just set it to 0 or null pointer, just to be on the safe side, so I know that it's not being used. Test. So I've got context, test, and then it's width and height. Okay. So comma m width. We'll start off at this. You know what this is? This is the current object, and it'll be width. There we go. And m_height. I think you can guess what's coming up now. I mean, you should be starting to get used to this. H-E-I. There we go. That's it. So we've got those set. What do we do with them? Well, let's go down to the initialization now and sort out this context. So m_context. What can we do with it? We can create. That makes a bool. Nope. I think that's correct, actually. Oh, there's surface. Okay. Current context, share context. We could share it. I know what we need to do. We need to actually make one, don't we? Yeah, that's a good idea. Equals a new QOpenGL context. That one. And it's going to be parent is this. So that's a semicolon. So m underscore context create should do that, and then all we have to do is make current. That's it. That's all we need to do. And now we can initialize the OpenGL functions into that current context. We can clear the color for that current context, and we now know that if we say make current within here, or this make current, I don't know. I'm not sure actually, I think it might be this. Context, yeah, it should actually, that might be a good idea. This make current, there we go, that's a bit better. By doing that, we know that all of the OpenGL stuff that we do will go to this widget and not some other widget which we may be opening. So all I need to do is copy that. I want to place it in there, and I want to place it in here, so that we can then delete mContext. Otherwise, we might delete the wrong context, if you see what I mean. So that's how we're going to use context for OpenGL. I think that's a good way of doing it, so that we don't mess up and accidentally start trying to draw OpenGL to the system, or to another, like a button or something that we might just be focusing on at that time. This makes sure that we're focusing inside our widget and things are being done properly. So that's good. Shall we check it? No, because of this. And we're no longer gonna make it empty. So m underscore width equals, I said float. So it's a static cast to a float, and it's width. You don't have to, but for completeness, I'll do height. height equals static cast. I'm doing it this way to make sure that the compiler knows that I'm not doing it by mistake. That's what static cast means. It says, oh, you compiler, I'm doing this on purpose. So we'll just put height in there, height. That covers that one. Yes, we do need something else. We need to do something with these. We're actually preempting a little bit. I'm going to include, don't worry about this bit, this will all be explained when we get through to OpenGL, but I want to include QMatrix. I want the 4x4, please, that one. And yeah, and we'll have one here. QMatrix 4x4. And we're going to call this m underscore perspective, I think. Yeah, that'll do it nicely. Whoops. Semicolon. There we go. Let's grab that. Do I need to set it? Can I set it to anything? Not really, no. I could put it to null. No. I'm just wondering whether to put that as a star and make it into a pointer. That's probably going to be a good idea. Yeah, let's just pop that up here. I'm gonna send this outside into memory over there as well, using a pointer. And that means that we take that. I can't have a pointer for a matrix. Get out of it. Of course I can. And we're going to go back to our exploration. Can I get rid of that window a sec? Thanks. I'm going to go over to exploration. And just after that one, I'm going to do the same to perspective. I'm just going to make it equal to a null pointer. And it's a comma. So when we initialize, we've now got to do that. We now have m underscore perspective equals a new matrix. No, it's a Q matrix. Okay, Q matrix 4x4, please. That one. I'll just leave it empty because it doesn't matter. There we go. Okay, we need to delete it as well. That one came second. Always delete in reverse order. Delete m underscore perspective, please. Thank you. There we go. So we've got our destructions going. Now down here, I can set. Is that right? Weird. M underscore perspective. I need to set it to identity. I'll explain all of this. Set to identity. And then after we've got all the variables, we can now actually do the perspective. This is obvious really, and that is just going to be perspective. Yeah, and it's, what do we need? Float vertical angle. Okay, 55 degrees. There we go, float. Next is float aspect ratio. Oh, we don't have one. So let's work that out. Aspect ratio equals m underscore width divided by m underscore height. There we go. So we can now put in an aspect ratio. Did I spell it wrong? God knows. ASPEC. Oh, that's right. Yes, it's a float. Thank you. What's next? Near plane, 10 centimeters. Oh, got to explain that as well. 0.1 f, comma, far plane 100.0 f. That should do that. That will now store our perspective in M perspective. Excellent. Every time we change the size of the screen, it will automatically call this the system. Our Q application back in main will know that part there, will call it every time it gets resized. So that'll be nice. That's automatic resizing, and every time we resize, we're going to store a the new perspective in M perspective, so we can access it somehow or use it somehow. Right, so I've updated. Let's just make sure it compiles actually. Without warnings now. Oh, nice. Yep, that's looking good. Test. Make sure it works on the perspective. Yep, that's working nicely. Absolutely gorgeous. Clear. Exit. Nice. Oh, everything works. Everything works as intended. Application results 0. Excellent. Thank you very much. So, every time we use a C++ word or keyword, it comes up in blue. Static cast, if, this, new, delete. Not very many C++ keywords or instructions, really, are there? Everything else that we write seems to be a name of a function or something like that, a name of a function or the name of a variable. And that's the truth, that's exactly what it is. We can do maths without any problems, and it's very simple and straightforward. The C++ language has about 15 blue things. That's C actually, has 15 blue things. C++ might have a couple more. I'm not sure how many more, but not very many. So the whole concept of language, I want to learn the C++ language. There's not really much to learn, I'm sorry. Every time you use new, you've got to delete. This means the current object that you're in. Null pointer is just an abbreviation for 0. So is null. New means new pointer. A new block of memory, please, somewhere out there. That's what it really means. New block of memory out there somewhere, please. And it's going to be that size. Yeah, that's how it works. That's exactly how it works. In main, we have one keyword, which is return, because there's an integer. So if you put some kind of, what can you call it, type of variable, a variable type in front of your function name, main in this case, you have to put a return. Have to. You must. I could put that as void and then just scrap that and just put app.exe there without the return. But I want the return to find out what that value is. That value is 0 at the end. If there's an error, it could give an error code. Actually, it does give an error code. So we need that as well. Okay, so main window, does that use much? Oh, we've got false, true and false. Those are keywords. Delete new. So it's true and false. That's a number. That's a number. It's not keywords. Anything in here? Class, namespace. These are key, public, private. Not private slots, but private. Slots is Qt. The private colon is C++. It's just an extension of C++, that one. No, all of those are hash defines and things. Those are preprocessors. Preprocessor directives or instructions to your compiler is another way of putting that. No, there's not really much going on, is there, for C++? Sorry. You've learnt the language. I think we've used most of the things we're going to use. Let's see if we've done anything else in exploration. Oh, we've used protected. Protected, that's another one. Private is another one that we haven't used because that's private by default. Oh, the other thing to class is struct. So if I made that struct, that would make that public by default, and I would have to put private there. That public wouldn't be needed. So yeah, the structs are struct is public by default and means structure. Class is class and means class, and is private by default. In other words, keep your hands off me variables. Keep your hands off me privates. Aye, that's the one. Nothing much going on in here, is there either? So no, I think we've learnt the language. I think we've learnt C++. All the biggest ones. Static casting, again, is just a C++ way of saying, I mean to do this. Literally, that's what it means. I mean to make that integer into a float and put it in m_width, which is a float if you have a look back in the header. Yep, float, m_width, m_height. So there we go. That's got rid of that stupid warning, which was hating. We've caught up on C++. I think we've learnt how to use C++. You have void or a variable type or something. Then you have the class name. Then you can make a function part of that class using the colons. Brackets mean what do we want to include into, like brackets. We want a parent variable, a QWidget parent. Parent, how can you put it? We have parents and children. I'll show you, actually, whilst we're here. Yeah. Let's create... let's have a new form. So let's go to the top here. Right click. Add new. It's none of those. That's C++ Qt. Qt Designer form. One of them. Creates a Qt Design form that you can add to a Qt widget project. This is useful if you already have an existing class for the UI. Business logic, whatever that means. Supported platforms desktop. Okay, so we'll choose that. Oh, right, we can put our buttons where we want. Buttons bottom, buttons right, or dialog without buttons. Main window we've already got. Widget, well, we've got the last two. So it's just a dialog then. What shall we have? Let's just have I don't know. Without buttons. Does it matter? No. Does it really matter? No. So dialogue without buttons. Name. We're going to call it menu. Menu.ui. We'll just put it in the let's explore because I want it in this part here with the main. Files to be added in. Main UI. Oh, wasn't expecting that. Don't we get a full thingy? That's a bit rubbishy. Where's our files? That's no good to me. I'm going to cancel that. I want to have a look at... Let's explore a bit, shall we? Ah, so there's a form and there's a form class. So let's choose that. Dialog with buttons. So this is a form class. Ah, so I don't want dialog. I want menu. That gives us all the CP and the... Yeah, that's better. That's more like what we want. That's what I was expecting there. Yep. Finish. Ding. And it comes up with it. So we're going to have a push button on it. And all we're going to do is call that close. There we go. Push button. It's up at the top, isn't it? There we go. Call it button underscore close. I think we've seen this kind of thing before, haven't we? Now there is something I do want to do to this object. I'll click on, is that, yeah, class there. Is it just the, yeah, it's got everything highlighted, hasn't it, here? It's got the dots around the big bit. So I'm just going to leave it the same size. Geometry size policy. Maximum size, base size, palette, font. Context menu, default context. Focus policy. Strong focus, because it needs to focus it immediately. Accept drops. Title. Well, I think that's going to be obvious. We'll call it a menu. Translate. Bleh. Icon. Opacity. Yeah, blah, 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 blah. Accessible. Layout. Direction. Local. Doodle-doodle. Oh, non-modal. No, I want to make it modal. Window modal, I think. That means it takes priority. No other windows can be interacted with whilst it's open. In other words, you have to close it before you can use the other window again. That's what that means. That's it, I think. A bit boring, but yeah, we'll have that for now. That will do me. Let's save that out. So Control S, close. And we've got a new thingy with a new delete and all the rest of it set up there, so you can, it's obvious. It's, oh god, I wish it wouldn't do that though. Sorry. Messing with their stuff. I don't like it like that. That's that done. Menu.h, anything need doing here? Nope, it's Q object, of course, because we need a slot in a bit. We've made it modal, haven't we? Oh, we better do it then. Yeah. So close. Go to slot. Clicked. Okay. And it's just this. And it's close. Semicolon. Okay. So on button close clicked, this close. That reads right, doesn't it? Yeah, that's looking good. We're on to 33 minutes already. Wow. Dun, 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 dun. Yeah, I'm happy with that lot. So all I need to do here is window CPP, menu button clicked. Oh, we better include it, haven't we? Yeah, I think we better include it. So hash include, it's hours. So it's just menu .h. And what we want to do here is it's a class, so it's a menu, and we want a star underscore menu, and we will initialize it as we always do with everything. I always initialize everything. I'm very, very good like that, so it's under main window, isn't it? So we'll initialize it here. We got our initializations right. Oh, sorry, wrong one. UI running menu. Oh, bad boy. Put them together. I like to put my pointers first. And that's main window, CPP, UI, and then it will be m_menu, open null pointer, close, comma. Okay. In setup UI this. No, I want it in. We need an initialize really, don't we? Not a start. Because at the moment we're going to have to put it here. Otherwise it's not going to be in the right order. So m_menu equals a new menu, and its parent is going to be this. So this is now a child of the main window. And as you're going to see how it looks in a second, I'll be able to explain it better. Yeah, just clicked. It's m_menu, and it's just going to be exec, is it? Yeah, that'll do. Execute. Run it. Let's see if that works. And underneath, I want qdebug and a message saying that, basically, but without test. I'll put menu. Menu button has been clicked. Excellent. Put semicolon, get rid of the light bulb. Excellent. Let's try this and hopefully it'll compile. There we go, we're started. Menu button goes in, and the background then greys out because this child of the parent is modal, which means it takes over. Okay, and close, I hope works. Yes, it does. So we can still test. We can still use the menu. You see? Clever. Clever, clever, clever. Exit. Don't like the colours. So that's how we do the menu. Oh, we're still on top, are we? Colours, colours, colours. Let's have some colour. Do a little palette. Inherited. Change palette. Quick. Let's have it in gold. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's more like it. We've got it in gold. How do we just put a list of something in? That's text. Edit. I don't want to edit. I just want text. Text browser. And that's label. Could open a GL widget and context it out, couldn't we? Do something silly with it, like put a hello thingy in it. Text. It's got edits, columns, tables. Table view. No, I don't want that. List. No. I just want to write on it. That's all I want to do. So I'll pop a label up. I'll just drag it out. There we go. So it's going to be test 1. What did we call it? It's OpenGL 1.0 from 1997. Full stop. That's that. Do we want to make the background black and the foreground white? We'll change the palette on that one, and I'll go for black. Okay. Yeah, that might work. Label is just text. No, it isn't. It's actually a label with text. Yeah, that'll do. Let's see how that looks. See if I need to alter it anymore. No, I'm quite happy with that. That's our menu. And it isn't test. Ah, yes, we need to alter that, don't we? So, just get rid of you and go back to you. Double click and just extend it by the... Oh, never mind. Test 1. There we go. Now we can run it. It says test 1 now. So test 1 is OpenGL 1.0 from 1997. Just one error. Not bad for me. Oh god. You can see that things are being clicked. That's good. Main menu. And all I want to do is alter that. Yeah. 1997 return. Oh, there we go. Done. Saved. Done. 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 That's it. Wasn't that good, eh? So, there you have it. C++, you've now learned to program. I think you've got most of the C++ language there, all the blue bits. Everything else is what somebody's written. Yeah. So in C++, how should you... It's called abstraction. You write your own functions. You abstract what has come before into your own functions, and then you use your own functions to write your program. Really, what you do is you write your own language. If you have a look at it now in exploration, we should now be developing our own language. So we now have initialize paint. We have exploration, because that's what we're doing. We're exploring. We have destroy exploration. And we haven't done much more. So yeah, and each test will have its own language because we'll be writing functions. So yeah, that's actually pretty good. I like that. That works all right. They don't like that, but we have to do it that way. It's okay. Test 1's in the wrong place. It's wrong really. That should be the stuff we put in test 1 should be there. But I just wanted to show you how you could do things differently. I'm happy. Are you happy? Of course you're happy. You must be. That's quite good actually. At least you can see my numbers now. I think that works okay. Yeah, I'm happy with what we've done there. So I'm going to call that a recap, and we've also finished that last button, which helps an awful lot, in my opinion. I'm quite happy to to set it there. So we've done our recap. In the next episode, it says start your engine, so that's going to be interesting. That's for the Americans. Anybody who's a Daytona fan knows exactly what that says, and in the manner in which that is said, and that's how it's meant. So next episode will be start your engines. Till then, take care. Oh yeah. Just make sure you have fun.